Hello and welcome to a new video about X4 Foundations from Egosoft and about the state of the X universe and what's going on here with the development, and especially about the online Multiverse Team Season. That's the really cool new feature that I'm going to talk about mostly in this video. Yeah, it's really exciting times for us at the moment. We just released X4 Kingdom End, the big expansion that finally brought the Boron into the X universe, and also the 6.0 update, which was really major, big new tech update and lots of new features in the base game. But today I'm going to explain what Multiverse Team Season is all about, what ventures are, how you can participate in this, because we are going to launch a public beta, and you can join now or you can join over the next couple of weeks, and you can even get some exclusive ship. This is really cool. So I'm going to explain how this works, what it exactly is in this video. So the structure of this video, I guess I will make a couple of chapters, will be that I first explain what ventures are, how this really makes sense, what type of a multiplayer game this is. It's a bit special, unusual, asynchronous multiplayer. So basically explaining to you what this adds to the game, why you want to play it, because it there's some really cool stuff there. And then afterwards, I'm going to explain how you can join. So the second part of the video will be about the sign-up process, what you have to do to join the beta and to get an account to play online. So first things first. Let me start with why you may want to join. First of all, it's a fun new gameplay feature. Everybody who owns X4 Foundation can play. You don't have to have the expansions, you don't have to pay anything, and it's not really risky. You can just simply join this new public beta. It's an online feature, so it requires an online connection, obviously, while you are playing it. But it does not really mess very much with what you normally do. So it still allows you to play your single player game, and that is really essential to understand. Why do you want? Another reason why you may want to join the game and participate in this beta is because there's a reward. It's a season, so it takes a couple of weeks, probably about 2 months overall. And at the end of the season, there will be rewards, and everybody will get some of those rewards. I will talk a little bit later about how exactly this stuff works. If you join the beta right from the beginning and start with the first operation, as we call it, which is basically a chapter of this season story, then you will actually even get one special ship as a reward already at the end of that. These ships are a little bit special. That's something to wrap your head around first, because these are ships that you store in your online inventory. So they are instances of unique ships that you normally cannot get in X4. This is a new ship called the Yasur in this case. They have special weapons, and unusual weapons that you can normally also not get in the X universe, and some features which make them especially useful for online gameplay, but they are also cool ships in your normal offline X4 game. So they are unique. You can get them as a reward. You will get at least one if you just join the beta and start playing. So that's very easy. And there's you can potentially gain more and other rewards at the end of the season, which is about 2 months of gameplay. So that's hopefully a great reason to join. But more than that, hopefully the whole thing is also a lot of fun to join, play not just X4 like you know it with yourself, but actually with friends and with other people, either with random strangers, so to speak, by joining a random team, or by setting up a team together with your friends. And that's the unique new part. And I'm going to explain how this works later in the second part. So, okay. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about what ventures really are and what sets them apart from missions. So to understand this, you first have to see what we mean with asynchronous multiplayer. this is not a normal traditional multiplayer mode that we are adding to the game. You continue to play with your normal universe, your safe game. You can either start games freshly with a game start, like you know them from X4 already, or you can even use save games that you already have prepared, that you worked on years ago, that you are currently using. Your normal universe, any normal X4 save game can be used as long as it is not modified. And I'm going to explain the whole modified situation and why this is important at the end of the video in more detail. But for now, this is the only limitation, really. Any X4 save game can be used. That also means you have all of the normal save gameplay. You play it as usual. You can trade, you can play missions, you can play the plot of the game, and you can play no matter which expansions you have installed. So probably you will be playing X4 Kingdom and Story at the moment, but you can do this in parallel to joining the online Multiverse Team Season. So what multiplayer is then there, right? It's not just flying into other people's universes. Obviously, it's not an MMO. You are not really meeting your friends face to face directly online, but you can send ships onto ventures, and you can have other people's ships in your universe. So how is that going to work? This is what the ventures are for. You will see an interface later in the game, after the sign-up process and after everything is behind you, where you select ventures, which are a little bit like missions, but also a little bit different. And a venture is then a mission that your ships play for you, which take a while and which happen in the multiverse. So you are sending those ships not around in your universe, but they go through your venture dock, which is a special thing that you built, and I'm going to explain this in the whole setup process, into other player universes, and usually for a relatively long period of time. This is at least many minutes, and so they have a fixed duration, and you can see upfront how long this will take. So you select a venture. Ventures have many properties. One is, of course, a story here. So it's like a mission, right? You see what this is about, what the tasks are that these ships are doing, how dangerous they are. Sometimes you could lose a ship on a venture, and what your chances of success are. That's very important in this whole thing. And and then you click start, and off your ship goes. And for that time that the ship is on the venture, now your venture dock will be blocked. So you cannot play multiple ventures in parallel together. So that's different from missions. And also, as you see, because you are sending this ship away, the venture is, during its duration, a relatively passive thing. You are not doing anything actively during the venture. However, you can also play missions in parallel, and very often the missions and the ventures play together. So there is something happening in your universe, and your ships are doing something in the other universes. There are, for example, mission-venture combinations where one team sends ships into another team's universe for destroying opponents, for attacking objects, and you will then see your opponent's ships in your universe and have missions against them. That's a typical pair, and as you hear already, there is some conflict in this whole story, and that's the next thing that I'm going to talk about, the whole setup of the story. What is this about? So there are two big factions in this. We call them coalitions. So the very first thing when you actually go through the sign-up process, again, I'm going to explain that in the second chapter, is choosing a coalition, and those coalitions are at war with each other. So basically you are choosing a side, team red against team blue. You will have to decide which side you are on, and your team as a whole is a part of this larger coalition. So there are many teams which form one coalition, and a team is in our gameplay a relatively small group of people. So the maximum is currently defined to be around 15 to 20 people. It's not a fixed number because it can fluctuate a little bit, but with the normal invitation mechanism, you have a maximum of, I think, currently 15 people for a team, and then there's a little bit room on top of that. So yeah, multiple teams form together a coalition. Two coalitions are at war with each other, and ventures are your mechanism to fight out this war. There is a reward mechanism, you get points, and yeah, that's really the gist of it. That's really the stuff to wrap your head around. You get basically points for ventures as well as for missions. Everything contributes to the war, and the whole story plays out through a couple of chapters, which we call operations, and together they form a season. That's the gist of it. Okay, so next we are going through all the steps of the sign-up process and all the things you have to do to join the Multiverse Team Season and play Ventures yourself. So the very first thing is you need to have an account in the Egosoft forum, and that needs to be connected with your Steam account. So for that, you have to go to the Egosoft website, www.egosoft.com, or directly to forum.egosoft.com and click on register. Either here on the Egosoft website in the top right corner, there is a register button, or also after you click on forum, on the forum website, forum.egosoft.com, there is a register button. Both of those do the same thing. They bring you to this website where you click on agree to the terms after you read all of this, of course. And then you fill out the details of your forum account. You have to choose a username and you have to enter your email address. This process will send an email to you, and that email you will have to confirm. And then afterwards you can log in with your password. And this username and password are important because you will later also have to enter it in the game. So write that down so that you can enter it in the game as well. The next step is to connect your forum account with your Steam account or with your GOG account, wherever you bought X4 Foundation. On GOG, there is the possibility to get a registration key from the library. And for Steam, it's as simple as going to the game activation page, and this is a link that you can click on, and then it should actually allow you to just connect your forum account with your Steam account. There is no we will not find out your password or anything. This is a procedure that is safe to do and which allows us to connect the two accounts together. Okay, so next we're going through the steps to actually get the beta and use it. So the first thing would be in Steam. You go to your library and click on X4 Foundations and right-click, select Properties, and then go to the betas area, and here you enter the beta access code, and that's a super secure password. I backed up my offline saves, which should also be promoted in our on our website. So now you have this new beta. I have a couple more betas than you guys probably do. And the MTS public beta is now added to that. So you select this new beta that you just activated. You can close the window and you will see that that Steam now updates the game, and now you are in the beta. So that's really pretty simple. You just need this publicly available password for it. Of course, this super fancy password reminded you that it is a good idea to actually copy your save games. So I'm just quickly showing you. You go to your Documents folder, you click on Egosoft, you click on X4, you click on some magic number, which is your user ID. This is not my normal folder. Inside there, there's a lot of files that we usually save there, but the most important folder there is the save folder. This is where you will find your save games. And as you can see, there's also, by the way, the possibility to custom name save games, but normally you will find things like the quick save. Soon you will find the online save and your normally named numbered save games. So this whole folder you can just simply copy somewhere, make a copy of it. That's a backup, and that's a good thing. It's always a good thing. Actually, it's not so super critical because we are not normally overwriting your save games. But instead we will create a new one, the online save for this feature, but nevertheless it's always a good idea to have a backup. Okay, so that's it, then you can start the game. So next you are in the game, you are in the start menu of the game, and you can click on the online features menu and you will see username and password, and this is for the forum username and the forum password. So let's try this one, and fortunately you can paste passwords here, and you should click on the Remember Me button, and also you have to agree to our privacy policy, read it on our website, and click on Login. So now the game asks you whether to enable the venture extension. So this is an important step, and you have to click on Yes here. There is an additional setting, and you should actually set this thing here to automatic downloads. That actually means that the venture extension, which is an extension just like the DLCs for our game, will be automatically updated from our website. So this allows us to basically push new content for ventures to your game, and it is best if you just set this to automatic downloads. You could also manually download those. Okay, so after you've done that, you are ready. You are now logged in, and but you will have to start the game again. So one time you have to go out and start the game again. Okay, so next time you start the game and go to the online feature menu, you will see a couple more options, and one of them is the communication language, which you use in the game. Usually default should be right, and two more settings, and this is to allow the game to show to show the names of visitors in your game. So because sometimes there may be problematic words there, you can turn this feature off, and it is turned off by default. Maybe you want to turn this on. Actually, most people maybe want to do that. And the feature to accept invitations, which is important if you want to join a team with friends. So turn these features on and you are ready to go. Now comes the important part about the actual save games and game starts. I already mentioned before that you can continue playing the game like normal, but to play online you will have to choose one save game or one game start that will be your home for the whole season for the online feature, for the Multiverse Team Season. And that basically means you convert an existing offline save game into an online save game, and then this will be your only save game in a sequence throughout the whole season. And you can choose one of your older existing save games where you already are very powerful, where you have many ships, or you start newly from a new game start. Either way, there is a couple of things you will have to do in the game to then really play the ventures. And I will go to explain those things next. So now we are in the game, and as you can see, I choose a new game start. This is not a save game that I had. This is the Accomplished Scientist game start, which is part of the base game. And but the game start that already gives you the headquarters. So this is the game start that would normally be unlocked after you already played a little bit of the plot. If you didn't get to this point of the plot yet, where you have, through what measures at all, the headquarter, then this is probably a good idea. But actually, you don't necessarily have to have the headquarter. You can also use or build what I'm going to show you on any other station. But the headquarter would be a good start. So if you start fresh, like I'm doing here now, this game start is as good as any. So you will have to open the map, and what you will see now, then, since we are now connected with the online mode, is that there's already a button here for the multiverse map. But if you click on it, it will tell you that you still have to construct a venture dock on one of your stations, and that venture dock will be the place from where you can start ventures. So this step we have to do now. We go to the map and click in on some station, and in this case it is my headquarter, and click on plan build. And you see this, since this is a new game start, I don't know a lot of blueprints yet. I only have these normal blueprints here, but I have the new category venture modules, and that's what you need for the Multiverse Team Season to start. And as you can see, there's a couple of different modules that you have available, but the first one that you have to build in order to connect any of the others is the actual venture platform. So this is, for example, you can connect here, pretty straightforward. And well, you can do some fancy stuff, or you just directly connect the venture dock to it. So this is this. So these two modules are the minimum that you need, and that's the stuff that you need to build. And building these two things works like any other station building in the game. It requires a couple of resources. As you can see here, for this you have to assign a little bit of money, or you bring the resources yourself. It's a process that should take, if you have the money, a couple of minutes. If you don't have the money, it takes a little longer. So joining Multiverse Team Season is not possible at the very beginning of the game. If you just start fresh, you will probably take a couple of hours to make enough money to build your first station, to build a couple of modules, and then you can do this. So there's no rush. Take your time to do that, but once you have built those modules, you will be able to actually join, and we will get to the next step. So once you have the money, the easiest way to actually build these modules without bringing the wares needed for building yourself is to just click on Manage Buy Offers, and just give you the manager of the headquarter in this case, or any other station, enough money. I did a lot more than was necessary. You can just accept estimates as well. Then you see it's just 300,000 credits. That would be necessary. With accept estimate, you automatically take the pre-calculated amount, and you need to assign a construction vessel. I can cancel this here to show you how this works. Assign a construction vessel. Zoom out a little bit, and then you see that you have a couple visible already on the map in this game start. And this is a game start right from scratch, but it is one that has to be unlocked after you already played part of the plot. So because it requires some visibility of those construction vessels. So you have to explore the game a little bit. So just choose any of those. Again, this costs a little bit of money, and assign it. Yeah, and then you see the construction vessel, you see the money, you have assigned it, you can close the menu. Now it will take a while. First, some NPC ships in this case have to deliver the wares to your headquarter, in this case, to the build storage in particular, and then the modules will be built. Again, probably half an hour or something normally in the game for this to finish. Hooray, we have the venture dock. And this means we now also have one further step in this menu, in the multiverse map. You click always on this new icon next to to your normal map, and this will now ask you to convert your game into an online save game. And this is the last step before you can actually play ventures. What this means is basically you will be making a copy of your current offline save game, and this will be your online save game from now on, and it will always be overwritten. So you click on convert. Online save game will be overwritten if you already have one. In my case, that's okay. And this is it. Okay, so now the venture menu and the Multiverse Team Season menu is completely available. You see this new menu here, And the very first thing that you will see here in the left menu selection is the selection of a coalition. You will have to join one of the two coalitions. Don't worry too much about this. Actually, if you don't have friends that tell you which one to join, it's actually shouldn't make much of a difference which one you choose. It's a war between two factions. They have a reason. There's a story behind it. Don't worry too much about it. Just choose one of the two. Reni Coalition, Syndeo Initiative. These are the two coalitions you can join, and I will just choose this one. Join coalition. So now you see the multiverse map, and you will see that you see the blue one, that's you, and the red one, that's the enemy. Okay, and before we can actually go any further, we have to also join a team. So in this top menu, we have now also the venture team group, and you can either join a random team, or you can create a team, or you can follow an invitation that somebody who created a team did send to you. If you want to create a team, you can search for users from your Steam friend list and send invitations to them. So that's the advanced version of doing this. And I hope this is self-explanatory once you do it. It will basically, since your account is now connected with Steam, have automatic access to your contact list and be able to do this. For this demo here, we don't have to. We just join a random team. So now I'm in a team here, and yeah. Finally, we have access to the most important part, which is the actual operation overview. So this is the menu that it's all about. Okay, so finally we are in the actual operation overview menu. The operation, as I said before, is a chapter in the season. It takes usually 2 weeks to finish an operation. The operation has a story and a goal. The operation objective, which you find at the bottom of the menu, or towards the bottom. There's also the team interactions further below that. But the way you read this menu is from the top to the bottom. You see the simplest and first ventures that you will probably play at the top, and then it progresses further down towards the operation objectives. So the operation objectives ventures are the most important ones and the hardest one to play, because oftentimes they require objects that you get further up, or they also require a progress that you achieved further up. I will get to that in a moment. So let's have a look at the top. At the top you see, for example, brain fuel mining, and that's a very special category. This is always available in every operation, and brain fuel is basically a method to accelerate ventures. There are ventures that you can play to get it, but you can also have brain fuel right from the start. I think for this whole season, every player gets a little bit of brain fuel, and in any venture that you want to start, you will have the option to invest a little bit of brain fuel to shorten the time that the venture takes. This is a way for players to basically balance how much time they can spend playing live when it is important for you that ventures finish fast so that you can do something new again, versus playing offline, because in the evening, for example, when you finish playing, you can start a longer lasting venture, and it doesn't matter to you how long it lasts, because maybe you are going to continue a whole day later or several days later, so you wouldn't invest any brain fuel in such a venture, and that's probably a good opportunity to play longer lasting ventures. And as you can see here, there are some that take without any brain fuel 7 hours. So these are then, of course, also ventures that give you a higher reward. Okay, so brain fuel mining are relatively simple ventures. You send a ship into the multiverse, and they try to mine brain fuel. And this is a relatively non-dangerous activity, especially brain fuel mining. That's completely non-dangerous. As you can see here, there's the risk of losing the ship is 0%, and the chance of success is 100%. So this is really a very simple venture. Here in the top of this rightmost menu, you can see the ships that I have docked at that station that has the venture dock. So I prepared by getting a couple of different ships and have them all dock at this headquarter in this case. And you have different ventures have different conditions for what types of ships you should have. And you can see here any S and any M ship can be used for this, but they have to be mining ships. So that's the reason why only the drill in this case has the selectable box here. And now the green check mark shows that these conditions are met, and I could click on Start Venture. And this venture would take 5 hours, so this is a long-lasting one. But because it lasts so long, it also gives me 10 brain fuel already. So this is a relatively high amount. I think we are going to change these numbers, so the numbers might be different when you play it, but this is always in comparison to the much shorter brain fuel raid mission, which in this case only gives me, or venture, which in this case only gives me 4 brain fuel, but for a much shorter period of time, only 30 minutes. So usually it doesn't make much sense to invest brain fuel to get brain fuel. So in this case, I wouldn't do the same thing. But here, be careful. This venture is one that has a slight risk of losing your ship, and it only has a 60% chance of success. And this is actually something you cannot influence in this case, because it's a very simple one. It's at the top of the group. This is basically a roll of a dice. Will it succeed or not? So this is the reason why this pays out in proportion more than the brain fuel mining, which is a guaranteed success. So these two give you brain fuel. Then next in the list, we get to the tactical knowledge category, which is called Team Reconnaissance in this operation. And as you can see, there are chapters here. This progresses, as I said before, from top down to bottom towards the team, towards the operation objective. And each chapter has this bar here. And the bar is also what you see on the map in the corners of your coalition. There is coalition supplies, tactical knowledge, and oftentimes, no, it also has strategic advantage. Strategic advantage should also be listed on the map. Coalition supplies are further down, so the missions in this category are a little bit harder. Tactical knowledge are further up, so this is a little bit easier to do. And as you can see, the two ventures in this category are called passive and active scouting. So this is traditional stuff to get information about your opponent. And again, you have different durations and different conditions for this. If you have a look at passive scouting, for example, we require a fighter ship. I can use my discoverer here, and you see the chance of success is 80%, or the risk for losing the ship is 0%. So passive scouting is no risk to the ship. Active scouting, on the other hand, again, we have to select the ship first to see this, has a 10% risk of losing the ship, but also has a pretty good payout. And talking about the payout, in addition to the tactical knowledge, which is the bar that progresses here, you also get team points. And the team points are what you want to have at the end of the season to get a better part of the loot. The whole team plays for some rewards, like I mentioned before, the Yasur ship and other things, paint mods, other things that we pay out at the end of the season to all players. And the better teams get a bigger share, and the better player inside the team get a better share of the whole loot that the team as a whole gets. So it is in your interest to be good as a team, but it is also in your interest to be good as a player inside of your team. Team points are one thing that contributes to this. Tactical knowledge, as I said, is this bar that will progress once you play these ventures. And when you click on ventures that are further down, then you can see, for example, I take one from the strategic advantage group, Fieldmaster here, and you can see that this venture has a very low chance of success. It has 30% chance of success. I can select the ship already, but I get I get a warning that I have missing items to start it, but I also get a warning that the chance of success is pretty low, 30% only. And to increase this chance, so to really have a chance to win this, I should increase tactical knowledge. So depending on how many ships you have and how willing you are to take a higher risk, it's much better investment to first play tactical knowledge ventures, get this bar up, and in order, before you for the first time try the Fieldmaster venture in this case. This menu, by the way, currently only shows ventures. So all of those hexagons with a V are ventures. In the real season, you will see that this menu also has missions. And as I explained before, ventures and missions oftentimes play together. But the mission is the stuff that you actively play. This is the traditional stuff that you know from X4. You can accept multiple at the same time. And indeed, you can also mix the operation-related missions with other missions. You can continue the plot. You can continue your normal single-player session of X4 during the whole season. So there's no reason to do one or the other. You can do both together. Yeah, that's basically it. The same principle applies to the other bars. So when you see the ventures at the bottom, like the operation objective, then you will see that all of the bars, coalition supplies, strategic advantage, tactical knowledge, all contribute to the success of these ventures. So you want these bars to be as high as possible in order to have a chance to really succeed with these ventures, because this venture is the one that actually gives you the highest amount of team points, and also is later in the war effort, for example, the thing that really gives you loot, like paint mods in this case. So when you manage to play war effort venture successfully, you may get paint mods for your team or for your personally, and also much higher numbers of team points. The other thing to look out for are the dependencies of items. Many of the ventures further down require resources or items for your ships, or some of that comes from ventures themselves. So they are special items that you get from the ventures further up. Sometimes it's items that you normally get through the normal gameplay or through missions. So look carefully and then play the ventures. Okay. I wanted to quickly also show you how visitors look in your universe. And to make your job easier finding them, you should turn on the highlight visitors filter in the other filters category on your map. And that makes your job a whole lot easier, because then you see the name and the name of the venture, and you see also the name of the coalition and the team that this is from. And as you can see here, even the player name, because I turned that on. This is my own coalition, so this is an ally, and I can select him and also see all of that information on my radar. It is of course worth noting that you are not playing alone. This is an online game and this is a multiplayer game, so you are playing with a team. And all of those progress bars that you see here are actually progressed by all of you together. So your team members are all contributing and getting points for that. And according to those points, you also have a rank in your team. The person with the most points is actually can change the name of the team. So there is not really a big hierarchy here, but if you want to change the name of your team, become the team leader, the player with the most team points, and then you can change the name of your team. Again, in the progress bars, they are all progressed by you together. So obviously, the better your team members are, the better you will be as well, because you can more easily make progress with the harder ventures further down. Talking about team, obviously there is also a very important feature to help you develop a common strategy to work together with your friends or your teammates, and that is the chat. We have multiple ways to chat, to open the chat window. You can map it to a button so that you can always quickly open it, but you also have it available on the map here at the top here with team chat. I can say hello, and this will be posted to all of the members of your team. and you can later open this, and you will also see a notification when you are in your cockpit down here. If there are new messages, you can see that the state of this little bubble here changes, and you can also always click on this little bubble to open the chat directly, also from the cockpit view. So you can always type, and the moment you finish and you move the cursor away, this chat will fade out again after a moment. So this is an easy way to develop a strategy together with them. For example, decide which ventures you are playing, which ventures you suggest they should be playing, so that not everybody jumps on the same ventures altogether. Obviously, one chapter where this makes most sense might be the coalition supplies, because this is a category where more advanced players can actually help most by sending a lot of wares to the multiverse. But this is all going to change from operation to operation, so different stories may change. And also another important note, all of this is a beta, all of this is just the very first iteration, the very first time we are trying this out. So the story will change, the venture mechanics will change, everything will change in the future. So please be patient with us. This is not the final state. Try it out, and and give us feedback. What do you like? What do you not like? So that we can improve. And in the next season, it will probably be already quite different from this. In the menus, you will also find the venture inventory. This is the little bag symbol here on the left. And once you open this, you will see that you have the venture inventory, which is permanent inventory. So it's important to note everything that you will have here, like later, once you have unlocked it, this unique ship, the Yasur, but also paint mods and everything else that you earn as permanent items through ventures, is available in every save game. You can always import these things in every save game. So next time you start a fresh game, a new game start, or you load a different save game, you can import those same things again. So you can always only import it once. So you cannot multiply your ships, obviously, but you can use them in multiple different save games. I already have a Yasur here in my inventory, and I can call it now. Every interaction with the inventory, just like every time you start a venture, will trigger a save game. This is necessary to prevent cheating. And you also see that now that I did call this ship, it gives me a message that the next time I can actually call it out of my inventory will take 24 hours. So I can only do this once per day. So I cannot immediately import it into a different save game. But the ship is now available in my headquarters. So in this case, because I have my venture dock at the headquarters. Oh, I'm being attacked here. I have to get away. So here you have it. This is the Yasur that I just recalled out of my online inventory, venture inventory, and it arrived in my venture dock. And this is a pretty cool ship, and I can, of course, also use it myself. Unfortunately, I cannot teleport yet here, so I have to research that first, but I will actually fly it a little bit to show you this ship. Okay, so this is the Yasur, and we're going to take off out of the venture dock. Normally, only NPCs are inside the venture dock, but here you, of course, you can still teleport into the ship when it's docked there. The Yasur, as you will note, is a special ship also in that it has already a very special engine. I can maybe quickly show you a little bit about it from the info menu. And this ship also has special engines, and these engines allow it to be faster for ventures. It basically acts as a ship that already comes with some brain fuel pre-equipped. So here we have the Yasur docked. I already had assigned a pilot to it, so you can move a crew to the ship, of course, like with every other ship. This is a requirement, of course, to send it to the multiverse. You cannot send a ship without any crew. But note that the crew will also gain a lot of experience on ventures. So ventures are an excellent way to train crew, including the pilot. So now that I have the Yasur docked here and I select the active scouting, which is a mission that requires a fighter ship, this fits here, then you see that without actually assigning it any brain fuel, it already immediately has 2 units of brain fuel. So the venture is now shortened to just 3 minutes from 15 minutes. So this is way faster, and this comes for free. And so these venture ships are really cool and useful, especially for ventures, but also in the normal game. Okay, finally I have to explain the situation with modified games. There are 2 ways that you could end up with a safe game or with your game being marked as modified. And once the game is marked as modified, you cannot play ventures anymore. That's important to know. The one way is to install mods, and the other way is to start a game in creative mode or to modify your save game. So basically the custom gamestart editor, you may know it already, I think we have it since 4.0, has two modes, the budgeted version and the creative version. The budgeted version will give you a new game start where you can create your own game start with all of the things you like, but limited to whatever you achieved in the game before. So this is super cool, and it's basically a new game start that you make yourself. And that will work, that is not modified. But if you use creative mode, basically then you have all the abilities. You can give you as much money as you like, you can get many ships, you can go completely crazy. But of course with this we don't want you to participate in the online ventures where you would basically be able to immediately send the most powerful ships to other universes and send all of the resources. That's the point of not allowing modified games, that we want to limit it and keep it fair to other players. And that's the same reason why we also cannot simply allow all kinds of mods. I mean, we really want to support the modding community and allow mods as much as we can. And we are supporting this. We actually just released also with the 6.0 update a modding package and with tools for modders to make it easier to make mods. It's also important to note, you can always switch between a modded game and a non-modded game by just simply turning off extensions. So this should be relatively easy. If you have mods installed, you can for example play with the totally modded universe for a while, and during the season for a couple of sessions switch back to the unmodded version by just turning them temporarily off. So there's not a lot of installation process necessary for that. But when you play online multiverse stuff, it has to be unmodified. Another further step that we did to make this still better for the modder community is that we want to actually sign some mods. So because there's a large wealth of different types of mods, right? There are those that really change the universe, that give you money or that give you different ships or change the map, of course. And those are clearly not compatible with our idea of the Multiverse Team Seasons. But then there are also mods that are simply little user interface tweaks or things that make the game a little bit easier or better to control for you. And those mods we want to find and sign so that they are then also compatible with Multiverse Team Seasons and basically will not trigger this modified state. So this is something we are still working on, but this will happen also very soon. So some mods, selected mods, will be allowed to be used with online ventures. That's at least what we try to do. And we also really want to support the modding community, and we just released tools, and this will go on. So yeah, I hope this covers hopefully more or less everything. The video got a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope you guys see this cool new feature and help us test it in this public beta. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing your feedback and find out what you like, what you don't like, so that we can continue developing it and bring it to the future. Bye.